Greetings. Welcome back to Meet Me at the Table. I'm Barrett, and we're going to continue our playthrough of Myth, the Stone of Life module by Megacon Games. There's a few things I want to talk about before we continue this adventure. One is we gained a resource called Serendipity in the last video. What is Serendipity? Well, Serendipity is a shared resource the heroes gain throughout the game. They can spend this resource to do multiple things. The more you spend, the better the result. For example, if you only spend one, you can do things like add a couple fate dice to your roll or summon a merchant. If you do 2 serendipity, you can kind of manipulate the darkness deck, or you can add hit dice. With 3 serendipity, you can do what's called a heroic event, for example. And with 4, which is the most you can spend, you can even ignore a darkness event, or my favorite, resurrect a dead hero. My heroes die sometimes, so it's nice to be able to resurrect them. As it stands, we have 2 serendipity right now. We'll hopefully gain more during the adventure, so in case one of them dies, we'll have a chance of resurrecting them. Also, I promised you from the last video that I would show you what the archer drew. I decided to keep Fool's Errand as our card to keep. We gained an ammo card, another ammo card, which puts our ammo at 5. Her quiver can only hold 4. Good thing we got Orion's Tear. This is a very powerful card, and I can use each ready ammo. You may attack one target within range. This is a good card. It can do multiple damage. Then we also received Retrieve. Retrieve allows you to search your discard pile to find one ammo card and ready it. Will our brave adventurers have what it takes, or will they succumb to the darkness? To find out, why don't you meet me at the table? We will continue our adventure. I will read you some more of the story. After Warren has spoken with you for a time, the people of River Falls begin to appear in windows and doors, too curious to see what is going on, not brave enough to leave the shelter of their homes. Warren is about to direct you to Piper, when the clicking of crawler mandibles begins to grow. The sound becomes increasingly loud. Warren, frightened, begins to run. The sound seems to surround you, fill you. Suddenly the ground buckles and groans. Earth, made malleable, water-like, wave upon wave of solid earth radiate from the middle town. Ground gives way, sinkholes appear here and there. The dry earth, void of strength, crumbles. Death has come to River Falls. Near the walls of the prison, a large sinkhole opens. A mass of chittering crawlers vomits from the newly formed abscess and pours into the garrison where Piper is being kept. And that brings us to our second tile. What you see before you is the second tile laid out with our crawlers, a lair, a couple bookcases, and some chests or crates that we can search. These 2 we can search. They will have potentially gold, potions, maybe treasure, as well as these crates. To search them, you'll have to stand on them and spend 1 movement point. The crawler's lair is considered a massive crawler lair and has double the health of a normal lair. Lairs normally have 5 health. This one has 10. The first action for this turn will be taken by the Acolyte. He's going to rev up his faith The first card he will play is Blood of an Overcomer, giving him 1 faith. It also gives him 1 threat. He will then play a Prey card in hopes to get more faith. I'm going to shuffle my discard just to show you I'm not doing it off camera and cheating. And we've got Soothe Wounds, no faith. Consuming Fire, no faith. And Smite, no faith. Worst prayer ever. With 1 faith from Blood of an Overcomer and 1 faith for being an Acolyte, we will still cast Last Rites. Last Rites allows us to target a square and then others in a cross formation. I choose to cast the spell in this direction so that my target will be here, and then it'll go 1 faith, 2 faith. Now let's create our dice pool. Our dice pool will consist of 1d10 and a fate die for being an Acolyte, 1d10 for our Worn Prayer Book, and since we only move cautiously, I get another d10 for our Last Rites card. The Crawler's defense is a 4, so just one of these numbers has to be a 4 or better to take out all 3. Got an 8. That takes out the 3 Crawlers. We'll remove the 3 Crawlers. Every time you defeat 3 enemies in 1 shot, a captain or a lair, a treasure will drop in the 3rd square. This was our target. 1, 2, it will drop in this square. To pick up a treasure, you must spend 1 movement point while standing on top of it. For this module, one of the restrictions is that a realm tile may only have 5 treasures at one time. Since we killed 3 Crawlers, our threat will go up 3. We already gained 1 for casting Blood of the Overcomer. So we're at 4 threat. Our Last Rites card also adds 2 to the darkness. So we will go up to our app and tap 2. Karen the Archer is going to play 1 ammo card into her action space. And I believe that is all our brave heroes are going to do this turn. We could do more, but everything we do is going to add AP to the darkness, and I would like to leave it kind of low at the beginning and see what our new cards bring. With that, we are going to move to our hero deck phase and then to the refresh phase. The first thing we'll do is reduce the Acolyte's 4 threat down to 3 because he has 1 empty action space here. Our Outsider has no threat, so he doesn't need to worry, but we are going to clear all our cards. Our Archer will move her final ammo up into her quiver, and we'll draw up to 5 cards. Let's look at the cards the Acolyte has. I kept Angelic Word. Hands of the Father. This restores 3 vitality to a hero within range. This affects a number of additional heroes equal to your faith. Each affected hero gains plus 1 d10 to all rolls. You gain 4 threat. Another Prey card. Another Sprint card. And another Prey card. Guess he wants to pray. Let us look at what the Outsider got. He drew a Sojourner's Path. He also drew Path of Rage. Each other hero within range, which is 3, gains 3 threat and plus 1 damage to attack actions this hero cycle. Gain 1 Malice token for each affected hero. We might be using that. Path of Nature. Each other hero within range increases their threat by 3. In addition, reduces the AP on the darkness meter by 2. And Curse. Choose one target within range. Target enemy has its dice pool reduced by 1d10 and 1 fate dice for all attacks and special abilities. Ooh, that's pretty good against captains. And I decided to keep Skylance. The final set of cards are from the Archer. I decided to keep Orion's Tear because I have a plan. I got a dodge, now you see me. Another ammo card. Find weakness. I get to choose one target within range. Each hero attacking that target gains plus 1d10 and plus 1 fate dice to the attack actions. In addition, each hero within range gains -1 target number to a non-combat action and courage tests. And Tumble. I get to attack with a weapon, move up to 3 squares, and attack one target within range. If the target is adjacent, this attack gains plus 1 damage. It is not considered a move, and it is a reaction. It can be used, and another action can be used on top of it. That looks pretty good. The final thing we need to do before we can start the next round is to move the darkness meter up equal to the number of types of active enemies, if my words would work. Crawlers are the only active enemy right now, so we raise the darkness meter by 1. We're at 3 AP. If it gets to 6, the darkness activates. Brian, the outsider, is going to move 2 squares. 1, 2. Karen, our archer, is going to move 2 squares. Brian is then going to play Skylance. The bottom of it reads that I may use 2 malice tokens to turn this card into a reaction. I do want to make this a reaction. So we are going to spend 2 malice tokens. We are going to move him here, and he is going to attack that lair. Let's create Brian, the outsider's dice pool. He gets 1d10 and 1 fate dice for his hero. He gets 2d10 for his glaive. And the card Skylance gives him 3 fate dice. The Crawler's Lair has a 5 defense. It's a massive lair. Come on, Brian. We got 1 hit. That's enough. And we also got a darkness symbol, which is our fate recipe. So that will do 3 damage to the massive lair. We did 3 damage to the lair. Skylance is a 2 AP card. We're getting close to activating the darkness. Brian is not done yet. The next thing he is going to play is Path of Rage, which will give 3 threat to our archer and 1 damage to attack actions for this archer, this hero cycle. So let's tick her up 3. 1, 2, 3. The reason this did not affect Ben, our acolyte, is he is outside of the 3 range. With those 2 cards played, he's going to be done for now. Even though Ben, the acolyte, did not get to become part of the Path of Rage, he's going to go next, and he is going to move 2. And he is going to play Angelic Word. It is a range of 3 and does 2 damage. Again, we are going to try to take out this lair as fast as we can. Ben the Acolyte gets 1d10 and 1 fate dice for being himself. Angelic Word also gives 1d10 for each faith the character has, and he does have 1 automatically. And he also gets 1 more for his Worn Prayer Book. So roll them up. Need a 5. And I got a 5. just barely. And I got my faith dice too. So that means he gets one less threat from that attack. So Ben did 2 damage. We also have to raise his threat by 2, up to 5. I failed to remember to also bring up Brian's. His threat is 2. It would be 3, but he did roll his fate dice symbol. With that complete, Angelic Word is a 1 AP cost attack. We are going to run a darkness cycle. And I do notice I have 5 treasures here. We should only have 4 because we did put 1 on the board. We'll run a darkness cycle. The way this app works is it shows you exactly kind of step by step on how to do it. Are there any active enemies? If there aren't any, you hit that. If there are, you draw a darkness card, and we have active enemies. And again, it goes step by step through what you should do. So for this activation, you only treat threat penalty event as threat level 8. Well, nobody has 8 threat, so we're okay. If we were in a threat penalty, a mini-boss would appear at the edge of the closest hero, and I apologize for the glare. Next it'll show us in what order we should activate our minions. And then at the very bottom, it shows us what spawn to use, and we're going to use a normal spawn. And once you're done spawning, it'll bring you back to a reset darkness app. Now let us activate our crawlers. We have 1 ranged crawler who's right there. These 2 are not. They're close combat ones. Now the ranged crawler does have a range of 3, and they're all going to attack based on proximity. Well, lucky Brian, he is the closest, so he will be the one that's going to take the brunt of this attack. So this crawler is going to move over here, and this crawler is going to get in its maximum range of him. So he's going to step back 1, 2, 3. There we go. He's good to go. All 3 of these crawlers are going to roll to see if they can hit Brian. These crawlers need a 7 to hit. Oh, oh, that was bad. Brian got hit for 3. I got an 8, a 9, and a 10. So I do have to roll their fate dice. Luckily for us, this is a faith. They didn't roll any poison, but Brian did take 3 points of damage from that attack from the 3 crawlers. Thanks to some awesome dice rolling, Brian took 3 points of damage. So 1, 2, 3. He's down to 4. And now we spawn the other crawlers. Again, we have 2 close combat crawlers. And 2 ranged crawlers. On the back of the crawler's card, it shows their spawn. So we had a normal spawn. There's also a heavy spawn as well. With the crawlers spawned and the darkness cycle complete, our brave heroes can continue on slaughtering crawlers. Karen, our archer, will activate next. She'll put an ammo into her first action slot, and then she's going to fire Orion's Tear. Orion's Tear allows me to use as many ammo as I have, and that's 4. And we're going to fire all 4. We're going to put those into our discard pile. And we are going to target this crawler, this lair, and that crawler. She has a range of 4 with her bow, and enemies do not block line of sight, and allies also and heroes do not block line of sight. Our archer's dice pool is going to consist of a D10 and a fate dice, and also 1 more D10 for her stick and twine. Now, while targeting 2 separate types of creatures, a lair and a minion, you need to get a success for each type that you're attacking. For example, I need a 5 to hit the lair and a 4 to hit the crawlers. If I don't succeed in getting a 5, but I do get the 4, the minions will still all die. But if I get a 5 and a 3, I could choose to either use the damage for the lair or to use against the minions, and the 3, well, that's just a miss. So let's hope we get some good rolls. Well, that was pretty much the worst thing that could happen. 2 3s, so that didn't hit anything. Nice shot. After Karen the Archer's failed attempt at hitting anything, we still do 2 AP to the darkness for using Orion's Tear. A couple other things I need to do are, I need to add back 1 malice token for using the Path of Rage, because I was able to target Karen the Archer. Also, my Acolyte did make his Fate Dice recipe when he attacked, so his threat should be 4. Better late than never. Our Archer is going to play Find Weakness. We're going to target, I guess, this guy. The reason is because Brian is going to play Sojourner's Path. I'm not going to get 3 guys in this attack, but 2 is better than nothing. It does state that I can spend a Malice token to reduce its AP, and I'm going to do that. We're going to make it an AP 1 card instead of an AP 2 card. Brian's Fate Dice pool is going to consist of 1d10 and 1 Fate Dice for himself, and 2d10 for his glaive. He moved aggressively this turn, so he actually loses 1d10. And he's got to teach the Archer how to shoot. Not only did he hit twice, he only needed 1, he got his Fate Dice recipe yet again. That attack was a 1 AP card, so we'll move the darkness up 1. Ryan managed to take out this crawler here and this crawler here. He then gained 2 threat. 1, 2. With his Fate Dice recipe, though, it goes back down 1. And that is it for this hero cycle. We'll move to the hero deck phase and get some new cards. This looks like a good place to leave our adventurers. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. Feedback is always welcome. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I hope to see you back here soon. The adventurers need your help. So why don't you meet me at the table?